So you know the ground rules. You have 5 minutes to make your presentations. Melissa might be less mean than me. Once I'm back in the room in a couple of minutes, I will hold you to that 5 minutes. And then we'll have 10 minutes for questioning.
Up to 10 minutes.
Up to 10 minutes for questioning, and then we'll turn to the second group, and so on. We have 2 groups that have time constraints today. Rudy Joseph is skipping class to be here, so we've agreed that he and his teammates can go first. And Zeph has work at 4, and so we've agreed that she and her teammates can go second. Otherwise, we'll just go in numeric order. So on that note, welcome everybody, and I turn it over to Veronica, JC, Rudy. Who else am I missing?
Diana and Larry.
Okay, sorry. Go for it.
Can I share my screen?
Don't surprise me like that.
Sorry.
Yeah, you should not. Yeah.
I'm gonna, quick, am I able to share my screen? Okay.
Go, Rudy.
Thanks. All right, do I start when ready or do I have to wait for a moment?
You may start.
Okay, so hello everyone. We are Sixfold, a team of social entrepreneurs from Montclair State University who all took on the challenge of creating a small solution whose impact could be sixfold. And the opportunity that we decided to seize this semester was how do we, the Covenant House in New Jersey, reach our young people and our partners so that they know about us and the services that we provide. So to tackle this issue, we decided to host an event titled Exploited. It focuses on what is human trafficking and what is the Covenant House's connection to human trafficking. We wanted to start forming this partnership between 2 groups in addition to the future professionals, AKA our attendees.
So throughout this event, we actually got around 42 attendees. We had 39 people RSVP, and then plus a couple of people showed up who didn't RSVP, like Nir. And then we also had a content quiz. So we wanted to gauge people's interest and like knowledge beforehand. And we found that the majority of attendees didn't know that Montclair had a human trafficking course, didn't know that Montclair had a Center on Global Human Trafficking, and I've never even heard of Covenant House. So we also wanted to see if our event was effective in teaching people about human trafficking. So we had a pre and post content quiz survey. And you can see that the correct answers are all in blue. And for all the questions, they got a majority of the questions right after the survey or after the event. And they were also able to identify services that Covenant House provides to their traffic clients. And then we also wanted to check the comparison between pre and post, and we found a slight increase in total average scores out of 6. We found an increase in perfect score responses, so just how many people got 6 out of 6 correct. And we also saw an increase in some selected questions. So what we learned is that we wanted to get like people's opinion on the event overall also. So we found that they were all really interested in attending more events like this. We gave them the option to say no, but nobody said no. We also asked them to rate this event out of 5. Pretty much everybody said 5. Nobody went below 3. We also asked them if they'd be interested in participating in Covenant House internships and volunteer work. And a majority of people said yes. Again, nobody said no. We gave them the option to, and they didn't. So what we learned from this is basically that not enough people know about the Covenant House of New Jersey and their anti-trafficking efforts. So what can we do about it?
So following the success of our workshop, we got to thinking about how we could take all of the work that we had conducted over the course of multiple weeks in preparation for our workshop and apply it to expanding Covenant House's image across New Jersey. Our solution here is the Human Trafficking Activist Toolkit. This toolkit here has condensed all of the work that we conducted in creating our workshop into a short pamphlet. This pamphlet can easily be distributed to other institutions and community groups, and it will help them to learn more about Covenant House and their services, the Montclair State University Global Center on Human Trafficking, and some basic principles of creating a workshop series that people will be interested in, and something meaningful that everyone can learn about human trafficking from.
So we didn't want to focus on teaching middle and high schoolers as there are restrictions that exist when teaching a heavy topic to minors, but rather we would focus our attention on our college students here at Montclair State, as they are the future professionals that will be in the helping field and can take what they are learning in their classes and apply it to their workspaces and expand the conversation there. We would also be taking advantage of MSU's Global Center on Human Trafficking, utilizing their resources to expand the impact of the group and in turn expand our reach beyond MSU.
Our business model, so we want to expand student involvement, which is why we're proposing some event planning interns, research interns, social media interns, and different toolkits that will work with the center who can promote the activist toolkit and help connect students to the Covenant House. For the Covenant House specifically, we're proposing an outreach intern who can distribute the activist toolkit to other campus communities and just organize events. We think that this intern should be paid around $15 an hour, and they should have some communication experience, but mainly we think that they should be included in the next grant proposal for Covenant.
So with all of this in mind, we asked Covenant House to consider using our tool and incorporate our plans so that this tool could elevate Covenant House of New Jersey's anti-trafficking work and research, as well as expand Montclair State University's Global Center on Human Trafficking. We want you all to invest in our activist toolkit because we know that Montclair students are intelligent, capable, and passionate about social justice. Thus, our project allows for eager young professionals to collaborate meaningfully with the Covenant House. Finally, the Activist Toolkit helps to connect more students and future professionals, as well as build meaningful partnerships with passionate young people. Ultimately, the Activist Toolkit helps to broadcast Covenant House, New Jersey's statewide anti-trafficking role. Thank you.
Should I stop sharing?
Yes, please, Rudy. Thank you for a wonderful presentation. I want to tell the judges, Sixfold is usually as eloquent, but they speak slower, I guess, out of the excitement or too much makeup or whatever, stage light. They double the speed in which they talk. But thank you for a wonderful project, a wonderful presentation. And now we'll let the judges grill you. Or not. Let's.
Okay, I have a couple of questions. Hi, everyone. Thank you for your hard work and your dedication. And I did attend the training that you gave with Dr. Benton. So thank you for that. It was really well done. Thank you. So my first question is, I just saw one thing that I didn't quite understand. It seemed conflicting. I felt like, and maybe it was just because it went fast. So if you could clarify for me. On one of the slides, I thought you said that most people don't know about Covenant House, but then I thought on another slide it said that most people do know about their services. So I'm just wondering if I misunderstood that, or if maybe there's some explanation of why those two questions have the conflicting answers.
So the where people didn't know about Covenant House, that was the pre-survey, just testing what people knew and what didn't know before the event. And then after the survey, they had learned more about Covenant House and then were able to identify the services that Covenant House provided to their trafficked clients.
Oh, excellent. So that means that you were actually successful because that was a post result. Okay, fabulous. And then my next question was, were you given a budget from Covenant House? Because I saw that you put in there that it would be $15 an hour to hire like an outreach person. Was it something that you had to meet parameters of a budget, or that was not really a consideration?
We didn't get a budget specifically, but we did ask Kylan, and she supported that we can propose an intern and that we should have them included in the next grant proposal. And the $15 an hour thing is kind of flexible. I just figured that was kind of average for internships, but I'm sure that it can also be worked out where they can be paid less and get more college credit or something like that. But yeah.
Okay, great. And then I think my final question is, I know you put together that great presentation that I had mentioned that I participated in. Are any of the other activities that you put in your toolkit, have they happened, or are they going to happen, or these are more like ideas of what could happen?
I think the toolkit provides a foundation for these types of events to happen. So it provides you with everything that you could possibly think of in terms of setting up an event, whether you want to book speakers or you want to conduct some outreach before the event. It's not necessarily a tool that can be immediately thrown into the fray of an event, but it gives you that starting point so that you know exactly where to go.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thanks for all your hard work.
Thank you.
I do have a quick question. Something that we do at Covenant House is we work directly with survivors. And I'm wondering, you have a section here where you can request a survivor speaker. And I'm just wondering if you guys could talk a little bit about what that might look like, because it's something that we've talked about and entertained and have done at different times. So I'm just wondering how you guys perceive that.
So that part of requesting a speaker, that's not specifically with Covenant House. We don't want to like force survivors. We're not like forcing anybody to do anything. But there is the New Jersey Coalition Against Human Trafficking, and they have an option to request a survivor. So that's more so for the general anti-trafficking purpose of the toolkit. But obviously, if Covenant House is already working with proposing survivors coming forward and speaking about their experiences, then I think that works wonderfully in that continuing that relationship.
Just to add on, that part was made with the intention to not disturb anyone from Covenant House who is a survivor, because we don't want to assume that they're going to automatically participate in these various events. So this was just made with the idea to expand the Covenant House's role and not to actually take directly from Covenant House's survivors.
Oh, right. Okay. That's not, yes, a survivor outside of Covenant House. That's awesome. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
I have a question as well. Your survey suggested that people don't know a lot about Covenant House or about the program at Montclair State. What percentage of students do you expect to know more about the courses that are going to be offered or offered at Montclair State and the program offered at Montclair State as a result of your toolkit? So do you predict that it will be a major increase of awareness or a slight increase of awareness?
Well, I think that as organizations start to pick up this toolkit and they start hosting these events, we're going to see similar trends to what we experienced during our workshop. I know that Veronica can attest to this, that the great majority of our attendees knew not a lot about Covenant House or the programs here at Montclair State, and they all knew it by the end of our program. So I feel as a team that we can say that yes, these trends will be repeated as more organizations take hold of this toolkit.
Okay, thank you very much. And
yeah,
thank you again for the presentation. Oh, sorry, Veronica. Okay.
Just to go along with that, like I agree with all of that. And then the Center on Global Human Trafficking at Montclair, they're also going to expand like this next semester, and they're going to hold like a launch in the fall. So as that's going on, the activist toolkit will like supplement that launch and will help to grow not only Covenant House, but also the Center on Global Human Trafficking at Montclair. So that'll spread more information about the resources that Montclair has in the human trafficking or anti-trafficking effort.
Okay, thank you.
One important question, JC. The lights behind you, are they real lights or is that a virtual background?
They are real lights.
and they were all installed especially for today?
Of course,
of
sure.
course. That's the only right answer. Thank you. I wanted to clarify that. That was very important. Thank you.
All right. Any last questions from the judges? Yeah. All right.
Well, thank you, Sixfold.
Thank you.
All right. Do you want to? Who's the next? I don't.
We said Zeph, right? Where's Zeph? Give me Zeph. Where are you, sir?
Hello, hello, hello.
Oh, wonderful.
There.
Yeah.
Hi, Zeph.
I believe, yeah, Yasmina is going to start the sharing.
Hey. Can everyone see my screen? Good. All right.
Yeah, and you want to do presentation? Excellent. Thank you.
All right. So we bring you Qartcode, changing lives one scan at a time.
Hi, my name is Ananza Kutain. I'm a senior here at Montclair State University. I will be graduating this May. My minor is entrepreneurship and my major is humanities.
Hi, I'm Caitlin Stout. My major is justice studies with a minor in psychology, and I'm graduating this semester.
Hello, everybody. I'm Zephaniah Ramos, anthropology major with a minor in communications, expected to graduate in 2023.
Hi, my name is Yasmina Zainoun. I'm a political science and jurisprudence major with a minor in philosophy, and I graduate this spring. Covenant House, unconditional love and absolute respect. Covenant House is the #1 ally for homeless youth and victims of human trafficking in New Jersey. They help gain independence by providing health and wellness services, legal services with their in-house attorneys, and life skill training for these victims. Our problem: how do we reach our young people so that they know more about Covenant House and the services they provide? Covenant House is the #1 source for assistance for human trafficking victims within New Jersey. Unfortunately, not everyone knows this. And in order to spread awareness, we want to promote their services.
We bring you Qartcode. A QR code, when scanned with a smart device, you will have access to our reference page, which briefly describes and discusses the services that Covenant House has. After on our webpage, you'll be able to access the Covenant House webpage, where you'll be able to actually receive the services if needed.
Sorry.
You may ask, why a QR code? Why now? So we know that with new technology being manufactured every single day, along with COVID-19 affecting the lives of millions, we are now entering into a touchless society. We have seen QR codes being used for transferring documents, entering and exiting establishments, along with at restaurants for menus. So we know that QR codes are now the future. We also know that from the ages of 18 to 24, those are the most people using QR codes, which is also the Covenant House's age range. So we want to be able to help Covenant House adapt, along with continue to help and serve the young adults of New Jersey.
More people today are using QR codes than ever before. As QR codes have become more common, awareness of what they are and how to use them have been growing. Amongst almost all smartphones have the capability to scan QR codes through the camera app, and our target audience, 18 to 24-year-olds, are much more likely to scan QR codes than other age groups. Last week, we began our trial of the QR code on Montclair State University's campus. We posted over 100 QR codes in different locations, and Montclair students will be able to easily spot the QR code and scan to have access to all of Covenant House's resources all in one place.
So these are our results. As you can see, we started out not having too many people scan our QR codes, but as time went on, we found an increase in QR code scans that point towards an upward trajectory. We hope for this upward trajectory to continue as we get more opportunities to engage with our students on campus, produce more codes to post up, as well as create more creative designs for people to scan. Now, our goal with this is that in order to combat the issues surrounding human trafficking is a complex social issue that needs community effort to spread awareness and help stop human trafficking. We hope that QR codes become this way of new media that is used by organizations to unite with local artists to build a stronger sense of community. And we hope that this engagement also is shared with Covenant House as well, reducing and spreading awareness of human trafficking. Our end goal is to be able to make people feel safe and have a community that is connected and have a safety net for people to use our QR codes. Thank you for listening, and we hope that you guys join us in scanning a QR code one scan at a time.
Well, thank you, Qartcode people. And now back to the grillers. Who's going to grill first?
I'll go first this time, I guess. How much information do you have attached to that QR code?
Would you like to see the web page that it sends? Yeah, we put it in the slide, but it was
okay.
Give me 1 second. So when you scan this code, this should pop up on your phone. It's just this web page that talks about Covenant House. It kind of lists all their sources in one. Zeph, would you want to talk about this? He actually did most of, yeah.
Yeah, so right, what you see here is a collection of resources that we put together that Covenant House has to offer. The issue is that Covenant House does have these resources, but we found that there were hard to access on a single page. So what we made it is to be easier to see and engage with. Right here is what you see as a kind of like a beta version of our website, but we do hope to continue coding a new website that will be more engaging with people who scan the QR codes. But the main result is so that it would have a pool of resources to people to access in a quick time, because these QR codes are going to be in public spaces as well.
Okay, thank you. Very good.
I have a quick question. I saw the rendering of the mural as a QR code. Would that really be an active QR code that large? Is that a possibility?
So it actually is a possibility, just like ours. We were able to have one of our group members, Catherine's friend, create her own QR code for us, help us create a QR code. So yeah, we know that today QR codes are being used, and you were able to create QR codes with different designs, shapes, and sizes. So it is possible.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, this was sort of like an original idea of being able to fuse art and QR codes. And so that's why we found it very interesting, because we are able to increase the size to whatever fits the need.
Yeah, that's awesome. I really like the tie-in. Atlantic City does a whole 48 blocks project. If you guys aren't aware, it's all about murals and stuff like that. Thank you.
Thank you, Team 2. I really enjoyed your presentation, and I was really impressed by the creativity, especially of, marrying the art with outreach and education. I thought that was really well done. I do have a couple of questions. So I didn't see any information about how you determined where you would put, these different Q codes. I wonder if you could just share a little bit about your thought process of where around campus, or was it off campus as well, like where you put these Q codes, how you determined where to put them.
So our campus, when we put them up on campus, that was our trial run. So we did it around the train station on campus, because commuter lots, that's like a very common place for people to get trafficked, or like just in case someone is in a situation where they would want to get more information while commuting. You see the code, you scan it, and you take some time while you wait. We also put it all around the main campus, near the bulletin boards, near the rec center. We did 100 codes this time. We're hoping if we can expand, we can do more. And our future goal would be to have them in like bigger cities, maybe Newark, New Jersey, have them in the Penn Station, in a lot of transit places, because I feel like in places where people can just stop and scan something and learn a little more, they'll be more inclined to do so.
Okay, thank you. And then my other question was, I could tell from your presentation that you could tell how many people scan the Q codes, but can you tell where they scanned it? And also my other question is, any data about them, like their emails or their cell phones or anything, or just can tell that somebody scanned it?
You can tell where someone scanned it. It'll tell you like the general location, like Montclair, New Jersey, or New York City, or something like that. But you can't tell like what kind of person it is, or any additional information about them.
Okay. Could you in your website ask for that information, or it's only?
Yeah, we could definitely do that. I think that's a really good idea.
Okay, excellent. And actually, I have one last question. What are the costs associated with this type of project? Was there a budget, like for printing up these Q codes or the artwork or anything like that?
So there wasn't a budget. I mean, we did pay to print out the codes, and we all split the cost evenly. And I wouldn't say it was like super expensive, but yeah, we ended up spending, I think, like $60. We split it all equally.
Okay, great. Thank you. And again, I really enjoyed your presentation. Thank you.
Thanks.
I wonder how much would it cost to paint the wall, right, to do the mural for a QR code like that?
Yeah, well, partnering with local artists, we can get that estimate, and it would be nice if we were just keeping it in the community, since this is like a state organization.
Especially following what Linda about Atlantic City could be a wonderful combination. It's a win-win-win. I guess that, I'm here on campus, right? I'm actually sitting next to Piero, touching him. On my way from the train station, I actually saw a QR code. It does exist. It's alive, well connected. Well done, QR code. Thank you.
Can I add one more thing, QR codes?
Sure.
Well, it just gave me a great idea, because I feel it for the Global Center, because I've been talking to Becky about what kind of mural, or I was thinking of maybe like a map of the world with push pins to say where we're working and where we have partners, but it might be cool for us to create our own Q code as well and do some art on the wall.
Well, I'm your agent. Why don't you talk to me later?
Okay, I think I have a date with you later, so maybe we can discuss. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
I don't want to prejudice the judges, but the idea of marrying technology with art and connecting it to it sort of is a really intriguing idea. Yeah, so definitely an idea worth exploring. I don't know if you all saw, by the way, that Nadine has accused Near and me of touching a touchless society. we are showing you that, in fact, mural is coming back once upon it's very soon. You, in fact, will be able to sit in a room with someone and give them a poke, even if they're not.
It's not the way it looks.
Yeah,
it's like artificial, whatever. Yeah.
All right, that's right. It's virtual. That's right. I'm not really here. I guess. Thank you. Our next team up is Team. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Team. Go for it.
Is that team 1?
No, that's us, I think. I think Brianna's getting our, getting it up.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think team 1 already went, right?
No, team 1 should have come, whatever. Yeah, sorry.
Does team 1 want to go, or should we go?
You already are.
You guys, you don't know Melissa as well as we do. We're a little afraid of her when she tells us that this is the order. We don't argue.
Why can't I present it? Sorry. There we go.
Team, just do it.
All right, can I start?
Yep.
Nice. All right, so we're a team. Trafficking education always matters. I'm Meg, and the people in the group are Sabrina, Brianna, Marissa, and Ellie. In this presentation, we're going to go over the problem Covenant House presented to us, the importance of our problem, our idea, and goals and future plans. Covenant House has tasked us with the question of how we are going to inform, prevent, and educate the public about human trafficking. A major issue we want to look at is a lack of education in schools. As students who have all received a public high school education in New Jersey, we know that the education system lacks effective information about human trafficking.
So why does the education system need this program? High schoolers are targets for traffickers considering they're entering the workforce, using social media, and developing relationships. Teachers and students may unknowingly see the signs of human trafficking. Our program can provide education to promote safety and prevention of human trafficking, which coincides with the law that was introduced on July 19, 2019. This law is section 18A:6-131.2, and it states the guidelines shall be developed and distributed to school districts in order to provide direction for schools in creating awareness of child trafficking, including warning signs, risk factors, terminology, and resources.
So as a group, we decided to create a teacher training program to educate teachers about human trafficking. This program will educate teachers on how to recognize the signs of human trafficking in their students and to educate them on how to discuss certain topics. We think it's better to say something and be wrong than to not say anything and be right. So this program contains 5 units. Each unit would take approximately an hour and a half to complete. It would go through 1 unit per week, and this program can be done via Zoom or in person.
So for the first unit, we have Human Trafficking Introduction, which gives a basic understanding of what human trafficking is. For Unit 2, we have Labor Trafficking, which defines and understands what labor trafficking is. Next, for Unit 3, we have Healthy Relationships and Sex, and we discuss the negative traits and toxic aspects and how to resolve them. For Unit 4, we have Online Safety, and we identify potentially dangerous situations online. And lastly, for Unit 5, we offer how to help your students properly and how Covenant House can help you. And this entails how to normalize certain topics about human trafficking and how Covenant House can support teachers. So with the help of Dr. Kingstone, we were given the opportunity to present our program to different supporters. First, we have Ronald Newman. He's a supervisor of social studies K-12 in Passaic County. Next, we have Kelly Williams, who's a director of support services in East Orange County Schools. And alongside with her works Corey Washington, who's a staff development teacher in East Orange as well. All of these supporters agreed that New Jersey lacks a comprehensive human trafficking curriculum, and they've also shown interest in implementing our teacher training program in their school systems.
So our 2 main goals, short term, is to have Covenant House implement our program to the Passaic County Public Schools. Long-term goal is to have Covenant House will expand our program to schools across the nation. We have hope that this teacher training program will just be the beginning of the future of human trafficking education. Our future plans is creating a human trafficking curriculum for students. We believe that it's important to educate the teachers first so that they can properly educate their students. We believe that human trafficking is an evolving issue and it is our responsibility to learn and to teach the signs to protect ourselves and the ones that we love. Thank you so much for listening, and we can't wait to answer your questions.
Judges, it's over to you.
And Ali, to preempt your question, if you want to buy the curriculum, I represent Team as well. You talk to me later.
All right, you'll give me a good deal?
You buy two. You buy Qart and Team, and I give you half price.
Excellent, excellent.
Now questions, please. Who would like to go first?
I could go first if you'd like.
Please, go ahead. Thank you.
So thank you for all your hard work. It really looks like this team put a lot of effort in. I know that developing educational modules is not an easy task, so I'm sure you spent a lot of time and research and energy doing that, so thank you for that. I'm wondering if you could clarify a question I have about the New Jersey law, because I was recently trying to read up a little bit about it, and I was a little confused. Is it mandatory that a school has to provide this education, or is it encouraged?
I think it will be mandatory, but it's a little bit more difficult to implement it like immediately. There are like a bunch of other like curriculums that have been created, but they're pretty much like very specific for a grade and state. So like people are creating them, but they will be mandatory, just not like right now.
Yeah, that's what I couldn't tell if it was mandatory or not, because I'd heard that it was mandatory, which I think could be a good idea as long as there's resources and, you know, an approved curriculum and all that. But then when I went to their website, it seemed like here's all the different things you could do, and there didn't seem to be like any standards. Or did you come across any kind of standards or things that needed to be included?
So the U.S. Department of Education partnered with iSave Ventures, and they made a framework for the instructional programming. I can like quickly read like the main points that they, so they first wanted to train the teacher and then get the community involved along with like the parents and the law enforcement and other like supportive community partners. And then they just needed like proof that it was like going to be working. And then for each like area, so like say Newark would need different guidelines than like somewhere like Pacific where I'm from. So they would just need to like adopt the curriculum just a little bit for each place. And that was like pretty much it. They basically said that like it wouldn't be as effective if it was like an assembly. It would be a little bit more effective if it were in each classroom like taught. We were thinking in like a history or like a health classroom, because like we can get some like criteria to like back it. But yeah, that was pretty much it. I can put the link of that in.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Thank you all for your hard work on this.
Leslie or Lennon, any thoughts or questions?
So I'd like a follow-up on that question. So looking at the two different school districts that you looked at and that you were able to meet with people from those school districts, do you think that your plan is adoptable for other school districts? And what did you learn from those two school districts that would help you working with other school districts?
Well, speaking with those two school districts, they confirmed that their schools are not educating human trafficking properly to their students. They're working with Passaic County community, and I believe it was Passaic County. Mr. Ronald Newman was speaking with us about that, how they're speaking or have a curriculum with the partnership of the community college, but they didn't have their own curriculum in the school. So only a small handful of students were being educated about human trafficking and not the whole school, for example. So they did confirm to us that they would like this to be implemented in their schools, only so that the teachers could not only be educated as well, but then they were able to properly educate their students.
And thanks for the good presentation.
One little comment about that, Leslie. I mean, I was present in some of these conversations, and the nice thing is that there are clients who are ready to pay for this. Basically, they said, when you're ready, tell us how much and when and how long, and we'll implement. And then we actually said, wait a minute, we're not ready. This is a pilot. We're just testing the water. But it seems like the clients are eager to have this product. So when we are ready, we in terms of MSU in Covenant House and we tell them the right pricing and the right everything, they will buy it from us, which is huge.
That's great. Great job.
I would add that the East Orange directors, I think were actually, they invited in a whole team. There were maybe 5 or 6 people on the call. And, they were actually quite disappointed to discover this was just a pilot conversation. They were ready to go tomorrow. Yeah. Lennon, did you have anything you wanted to ask the team?
No, I'm looking at the presentation on my other screen, and it seems very comprehensive. I think you guys did a nice job with it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, team.
All right, that authoritarian person, Melissa Velez, has told us that 4 CHANJs, did I get that? Old guy, what's the team, what's it called?
Our team is called For Change. So if you were to lowercase, the A, we did a play on words. So it's like for CHNJ.
Yeah, there we go. And so you know, you already know my comment to you about this project focusing on how to communicate to young people, because old guys like me don't know how to do it. I just proved it to you, right?
That's all right.
Look at that. Look at that.
Hi, we're Team For Change. My name is Esma. My group members are Princess, Vanessa, Celine, and Dana. We decided to tackle the first question posed to us by CHNJ, which is how do we reach our young people so that they know about us and the services we provide? Let us present a hypothetical scenario. Meet Samantha, a 21-year-old woman who is a survivor of labor trafficking. She finds herself feeling isolated and lost. In need of counseling services and a support system, she turns to social media to find help. During her search, she finds CHNJ's Instagram. She notices 3 key things. The bio only mentions helping homeless youth throughout New Jersey, no mention of human trafficking. There is one post from January about CHNJ becoming the statewide provider of human trafficking victim services, but it does not mention what those services are, where to read about them, or what number to call. And the link in the bio does not take her to a main website nor a page dedicated to human trafficking victim services. After spending time on the account, she feels that CHNJ is not addressing her needs and will not be able to help her.
Therefore, we worked on developing a solution that benefits those who may need or are actively searching for help via social media, primarily Instagram. That solution is through developing an online social media presence that offers reliable resources about human trafficking victim services for youth. CHNJ has little to no social media presence. As of April 2021, CHNJ has negative 6.7% accounts reached and negative 9.6% profile visits, which represent a decrease in users seeing CHNJ's content on a daily basis and visiting the profile. The negative 3.8% impressions mean less people are liking or commenting on CHNJ's posts. The overall negative percentages indicate diminishing engagement and online presence.
To help build that online presence and increase engagement, CHNJ should implement a social media strategy for their Instagram. Social media strategies help organizations reach their target audiences more effectively, whilst creating better content and saving time. So after extensive research and speaking with experts on human trafficking and in the area of communications, we created one. Let us show you how our Instagram strategy works. This strategy can be broken down into a social workflow, which outlines a 4-step loop process for social media management, starting from content creation. This section under content creation includes researching accurate information on human trafficking, utilizing trauma-informed language in posts, such as saying survivor instead of victim, avoiding sensationalizing the issue by not focusing on what gets the most clicks, and using social media tools such as Canva to create the posts. Here are 2 informational posts that we created that follow the suggestions we outlined in our proposal.
Next is content publishing. The content is created, it is time to start posting them on social media. We've developed a content calendar that organizes all the posts by creation and when to post them. We determined using Instagram analytics and research studies what would be the best times to post to receive high engagement. We have determined those times to be Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. and 6 p.m.
The content is posted. Now you focus on listening and engagement. This section entails getting a better understanding of your audience by engaging with potential clients through responding to messages, interacting with other organizations by following them and liking their posts, and tracking and using relevant hashtags, such as hashtag human trafficking and hashtag Covenant House NJ.
Then is content analyzing and comparing. Instagram provides insights, which are account analytics based on the profile and post. Our proposal explains how Instagram Insights will help CHNJ identify ways to improve their social media strategy to better reach potential clients and increase engagement. They can use platforms such as Hootsuite or Salesforce to compile the data and see what areas need improvement or are effective. Pricing breakdowns are included in the proposal.
As mentioned previously, as of April 2021, there's a significant decrease in engagement. After 1 week of posting using our social media strategy, there was a significant increase in engagement with 29.1% accounts reached, 8.9% impressions, and 64.4% profile visits. The goal is to keep CHNJ's Instagram account as active and engaging as possible while getting the word out about the human trafficking services and resources CHNJ provides by following the social media strategy we created. The more people that are talking about this issue and CHNJ services, the more people we will be able to help.
Thank you.
Overwhelming, the numbers are too much, huh? You know that, by the way, 94% of the numbers on this presentation were made up on spot. But just saying. Actually, I should stop disturbing. I should stop. I'll go home. Back to Tel Aviv.
I don't know what it is.
I just wanted to say hi, everyone.
Hi, Kylan.
It's Kylan. I'm so sorry. I'm so late.
So we were about to
turn
over to the judges to question the group. So I'm going to sing your praises at the end if you don't mind. But for now, judges, can we? It's your turn.
I have a quick question. I guess my question is about the popularity of, the Instagram app, whether or not that's going to wane, and how quickly and easily we could transfer this to another app. Or the TikTok is a thing now. I have an 11-year-old. I really don't know that much, but that would be my question, is that once Instagram turns into MySpace, can we transfer it quickly, easily, all that kind of thing?
So in terms of Instagram and why we chose it, it's different compared to the other platforms. If you talk about Twitter, Twitter is more of a hashtag and text-driven platform. Facebook is for older audiences who like to do sharing. And what we found is that Instagram in and of itself, our target audience are ages 18 to 30. We determined that number because CHNJ offers services for 18 to 24, but beyond 24, they do offer referral and other case management services. And currently on Instagram, the ages 18 and 29 that are actively using, it's 71% of the users that are using Instagram. So that's how we determined that Instagram would be the best platform. Also in a report by the Polaris Project, we found that 22% of survivors shared that they use Instagram. So we found that that'd be the best platform to start working this idea. Our social media strategy can be applied to other platforms if you follow that 4-step loop process of the social workflow. However, platforms are different, so you would have to tweak it a bit to, as I mentioned before, Facebook, you would maybe have to create more videos and things like that would people be able to share, but the process stays the same. You would just have to tweak some things here and there.
Okay, I guess I could go next if you're finished, Lennon. So this presentation really struck home to me because I would say that the vast majority of girls who are trafficked that I've worked with over the past 5 years were trafficked online, and your scenario really hit the nail on the head, where they were isolated or they were having major issues at home and they were lonely and looking for support, and that's exactly how it happened. So I think that this is spot on in terms of an intervention of when is the most vulnerable time to try to impact a young person. So that really well done on where you're putting your intervention. I guess my question, besides speaking to Nir to broker, getting you guys to do a social media program for the Global Center on Human Trafficking, would be, how, can you just very briefly, because I know we don't have a lot of time, if we were to get started, because I do have somebody that's going to help with social media at the Global Center on Human Trafficking, you know, where do we start with this? Just starting up our own Instagram account? Is there any advice you would give, given that you've gone through this, that what you could give us to make it easier and go more smoothly if we did something like this?
So you can definitely start up your own account. The biggest thing is who you're following. That's crucial. You have to follow accounts that mean something to you. Like, for example, the Covenant House follows 131 accounts. 60 of those accounts are personal. They have nothing to do with human trafficking, nonprofits, anything. Only 16 accounts have to do with human trafficking, and that's why their engagement is low and clients aren't necessarily coming in from their social media. So advice-wise, I would say to follow the right people, interact, like as many relevant posts as you can, share as many relevant posts as you can, use hashtags, and that's how you'll get your numbers.
So you're saying connect with more individuals rather than organizations?
Both.
Both.
Only both. Organizations relevant, and then individuals who maybe run them or who speak out about them, anything relevant.
Okay, got it. And I guess my next question is, when you mentioned I think it was Hootsuite and there was one other platform, can you talk a little bit about why you chose those platforms over, there's so many out there? Like, why were those relevant, and did you take budget into consideration?
So we weren't presented with a budget, but we chose, in our proposal, we outlined social media tools that organizations can use, and we gave pricing breakdowns. But we also mentioned all of the social media tools that we put up have nonprofit discounts. So either up to 50%, 80%, some of them are free. So Canva, for example, is what we use to make both our presentation and the posts that we put on their Instagram account. Nonprofit organizations can apply to use their services for free. They also, I do not know if the Center of Global Trafficking falls under an educational institution. They also have, you can search educational opportunities as well if they don't qualify for a 501(c)(3). But we chose Hootsuite and we chose Salesforce. Salesforce in specific is because CHANJ currently uses Salesforce. They have that as part of their budget, but they don't have the social media component, so that's something that they can look into. They have to talk to a sales rep. They don't have those numbers up on the board, up on their website. And then Hootsuite, we found that it was the most common analytics tool that we found that organizations use. We spoke to different communication directors and experts at Montclair State, and that was a common thread. It was Hootsuite. So that's something that we put online, which is an easy social media management platform where your analytics get stored and it analyzes it for you.
Great, thank you, very well done. Thank you very much.
I have a question, sort of a hypothetical. I'm really impressed by all the presentations so far, and I'm really impressed by this one as well. Do you think, since you only had a short window of looking at the results, do you think that the results would have continued in the same direction over time, that it would have still been positive and that you would have changed that negative into increasingly more and more positive over time?
So I believe that it would, because with analyzing content and comparing it, we would go through the insights on Instagram and compare to see how much more engagement we've received and how much more people have been looking at our posts, and seeing if the numbers were lower, we would, tweak things and see how we can make it better to increase engagement.
Thank you. Ali, I think you have a team there that you need to bring in.
Lennon, did you have any questions?
No, my question was answered. Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you very much. Melissa, who's up next?
Camila, Gabrielle, and Stephen F.
Okay, I'll share my screen now. Hi everyone, welcome to our pitch. My name is Camila Saez, and I'll introduce you to my teammates, Stephen and Gabrielle. And Stephen's going to start us off today.
So how can we help? We first want to start and say that we want to start a club at Montclair State University. We understand Montclair State students will have careers in public health and services. So this is a great demographic to touch. There is an opportunity to teach those students in the future of New Jersey healthcare workers the growing dangers of human trafficking, as well as inform them of the services that the Covenant House provides.
Our mission is to create the Olive Branch Club, which will raise awareness to human trafficking in the Covenant House. The Covenant House has many resources that they provide, and this will be introduced to the Montclair State students. The Olive Branch Club will teach members of the dangers of human trafficking in New Jersey. It will be a perfect fit for students interested in public health, and we hope the club will impact human trafficking awareness movements at other universities. In the 2018-2019 school year, Montclair State University handed out 93 bachelor's degrees in public health, and these would be a crucial part of our target audience for the Olive Branch Club. Each year, we will continue to market the club to recruit more members.
So how the organizational model would work. According to the Student Government Association, we first would need 15 diverse students in order to start the club at first. And then we would meet regularly throughout the semester to plan and coordinate events. In the meetings throughout the semester, the organization will strategize on how to appropriately raise and allocate the funding towards ads, events, and info sessions.
Yeah, and I'm just going to talk a little bit about the growth of the whole organization. So Olive Branch, since it is going to start out, it's going to be a class 4 organization, which is like the lowest tier, but we hope to grow, obviously. And we'll start off with basic fundraisers such as like Chipotle, where they give the percentage, a certain amount of the percentage goes toward the club, and on-campus bake sales, drive-in movies, so on and so forth. And all the money will, of course, go to Olive Branch just to start, since it's starting out, and you want to start getting the word out about the organization itself. And by the second year, we hope to be more well-established and have like support from the local community, especially the local campus community of Montclair State. And we'll be hosting our first ever sleep out event, which is a big event in Covenant House. And anyone could join, of course, the more the merrier, and we'll be raising more money and spreading more awareness about human trafficking in the club itself. And look ahead in 5 years, we hope to have the sleep out event every for the fall and spring semester. We'll be hosting, Covenant House will be partnering with us to host discussion panels on, especially we'll be targeting like online streaming services like IG Live, just because it's like something that a lot of young people go to. I know myself, I love going there, YouTube streaming there, and Facebook Live. And we hope to be hosting more fundraising events such as dinners, talent shows. And I know the Night of the Covenant House Stars as well is another big event. So we hope to have our own little version of it. And here are just some examples. This is an ad for a March to Stop Human Trafficking. So we want to become like the next big social justice movement, but obviously we need to start like with a small step. Here are some posters we made. To watch out for the signs of human trafficking. This would be just like examples of Instagram ads we would put on our social media. And this is just an ad for the sleep out event. Thank you so much for listening, guys, and please ask any questions. Thank you.
Go Olive Branch.
Does anybody have any questions about anything that we just went over?
You bet. We pay the judges to ask questions.
Yeah, the big bucks.
And I hope my check's in the mail. Thank you. I appreciate it. But do you guys have a plan to introduce this on other campuses? Or
Yeah,
what does that plan look like to introduce it on other campuses? I got to get better at it.
Yeah, that's definitely like a big goal of ours. But that was kind of what we were starting out as planned actually. But then like, of course, like we were like, we have to start small. So start at Montclair here. And that plan would be, well, first we would have to build our own establishment here. And then hopefully we'll be able to pitch this organization to other campuses as well. And maybe even possibly high schools too, because I know like they're like the other group had like a presenting like a curriculum for other schools. This could even be like an idea for them too.
Okay, should I go? Is anybody up?
Yes, please. And Team Olive Branch, could you stop screen sharing?
Yeah.
I mean, we love you, but yeah.
Thank you, Team Olive Branch. Well done. I don't know if you know this, but Dr. Paterka Benton and I were emailing earlier today about starting a human trafficking club, and she graciously volunteered to be the faculty advisor. So I don't know if she already shared that with you or not, but I have some interns that are working on a campus toolkit around how campuses can create a comprehensive response to human trafficking. And so I think your toolkit or your idea of how to set up a club, you know, really fits nicely into an overall structure of how to address trafficking on college campuses. I guess I had a couple of questions about starting it up here from your presentation. So you talked a lot about fundraising. Does the university give you any funding at all for your clubs? Do you get a budget or you start with zero?
Yes, they actually do give us funding. They gave us, if you don't mind, I'm just going to clean up my notes real quick. They give us, because there's 4 tiers of clubs, there's 1 through 4, 1 being the biggest. The 4th tier gets the least amount of funding at the beginning of the year. And the Student Government Association actually holds on to the money, and that's about $1,000. Continuing after that, it grows to 3,000 to 4,000, and then finally 5,000. But of course, those are for the bigger organizations on campus. So you kind of have to prove yourself, and that's what we want to do, prove ourselves to eventually get to that point.
So do you did this obviously as, you know, a project for this social entrepreneur course, but is this something that you all would like to implement? Are you all here in the future, or was this purely kind of like ideas for someone else to pick up and run with?
For me personally, I'm actually graduating this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I'm actually, this was something that I would like to give and hand off and have someone run with it, because we have the ideas, we know what we have to do just to start. And then we can proceed from there.
Yeah, I'm also graduating too. So, I mean, I wouldn't mind helping out, starting out, just because, you know, it's a good opportunity and I would love to help. And especially because I'm actually interested in pursuing public health. So.
Oh, great. My master's is in public health, so go public health.
So Gabrielle will do the whole thing on her own, I guess, right? after Camila and Stephen graduating. I'm kidding, of course. Or maybe not.
And my last question was, maybe you thought of this already, but since you'd be doing so many fundraising events, so I think you mentioned Chipotle, like, would you also make those events as a way to raise awareness as well as fundraising? Did you discuss that at all?
That event in specifically, so we kind of want to do fundraisers, and then we want to have events. The fundraisers will generate money so that we can host these events.
But they're not the same thing. The fundraising events aren't necessarily awareness raising events. They're just things you think people will come and give some money for.
Give some money for, and then also getting like just a basic introduction of what our group is about.
Okay, great. It's terrific. Thank you all.
Did you consider other majors such as medical humanities or social work, child advocacy?
Oh, definitely. Actually, I'm a majoring in medical humanities and my minor's in public health. So I would love like to get people in my major involved and like just kind of, yeah, like Stephen was saying, like pass on the torch and have people just be like activists almost and, you know, make real social change.
Yeah, and also I just want to go off of that. The 3 out of the 5 top 5 majors at Montclair State, and this is from Montclair State's website, is family sciences, justice studies, and biology, as well as business administration. And if we teach those students, those undergrad students, or inform them of human trafficking as well as the Covenant House and their services, they can take that knowledge, bring it with them into their careers, and have that in the back of their head. Like they know the signs of human trafficking. Let's say business administration, hospitality. That's if I'm correct, that's a big hotspot, if you will, for human trafficking. So this is we can reach a very diverse group of students.
There also are 200 child advocacy majors and 250 social work minors. So, yeah.
I was actually going to say something about the social work minor. I think a reason we didn't emphasize that is because it was a minor. So we chose public health since it's a major. So there was more students involved with that.
Thank you, and good work.
Thank you.
Lennon, any, or? Okay. No, it's interesting, you know, as the evening unfolds, Peter, I see we can almost have a comprehensive solution, basically doing Ali's job, right? So the club combined with the toolkit, combined with the QR, combined with the social media presence.
Yeah, I need you all. Can you just stay all summer, please?
Exactly, exactly.
All right, we have one last group. Ooh.
That is us. Hold on.
And of course, more.
There we go. There we go. All right.
Okay. Okay. So hi everyone. My name is Hannah.
I'm Piero.
And today we are going to talk about our trivia night. We also had 2 more people in our group that unfortunately could not make it today, but that was Stephen and Diana.
So the introduction, what exactly is our goal? Our goal is to reach young people and possible partners so they know about Covenant House of New Jersey and their services. Our value proposition is, our ultimate goal is to create a platform where we could create awareness on human trafficking and provide a platform that can be used as training. This project takes out the traditional style of learning and utilizes an unorthodox method, turning the learning experience more interactive. As stated before, the main problem we're targeting is how exactly do we reach a younger audience so that they know about the services that Covenant House provides. A couple of the sub-problems that we essentially kept in mind throughout the process of our idea was, what kind of events would be entertaining, eye-catching, yet informative enough for our students to want to attend? Will students show up to the event due to a busy schedule? Now, this is where we had an advantage of getting into the mindsets of people our age because we're also college students. And we know that from personal experience that we wouldn't want to go to one event that would drag a little bit, especially an event that's virtual. We also kept in mind, will this event allow for future success? Will this event make a student want to attend a similar event in the future and recommend it to other students in the future and bring more awareness to Covenant House?
So for our solution, we basically thought of the idea to have a trivia night. So what we did is we made a Kahoot account and we brought together a bunch of questions about human trafficking and Covenant House all together. We had 25 questions in total. And we played a Kahoot game with about 20 participants that showed up. So we basically thought that a trivia night would be a really good idea because it wasn't just someone speaking facts at you, but it was very informative. So we prepared a very engaging flyer to promote our event. We reached out to the Justice Studies major as a whole, and we reached out to a guy named Christopher Salvatore who promoted our event to Justice Studies majors. We also promote our events to multiple classmates, to this internship as well. And this is our flyer.
Yes, so this was the flyer that we used for advertising our event. We wanted to create something that was eye-catching, clean-cut, and easy to use, which is why we also added a QR scan to directly take students to RSVP. We posted it all over social media as well as emailed students directly.
So for our trivia night, we hosted it on May 7th between 6 to 7. We ended about at 6:45, but we wanted to just keep it till 7 just in case it went over 45 minutes, just so nobody made plans after that and then had to leave very unexpectedly. So we had about 20 people attend, and we began by discussing the internship as a whole and some of the services that Common House provided. We also talked a lot about how Common House is very much known for helping homeless youth, but they're not as well known for human trafficking. So that's something that we really want to put an emphasis on so that Common House can be more known for helping human trafficking victims. So we set up 25 questions, we played, and people were allowed to log on to the Kahoot. And we had the top 3 winners receive $25 Amazon gift cards, which Dr. Kingstone greatly provided for us. And after our event was done, we sent out surveys to each participant, giving them the option if they want to complete it, just so we got some feedback, and we received pretty positive feedback overall. So this is just a little picture. This is us on Zoom, and then these are the 3 winners of our Kahoot game. So they all received $25 Amazon gift cards through their emails. So this is our feedback. Out of the 20 people, 11 people completed the surveys. So we had 2 maybes where they would attend another event like this. And then we had 9 yeses. Our questions were you satisfied with the event? How much did you learn? Would you attend something similar? What did you like least about this event, and what did you like the most? We basically just wanted feedback to prove that this event could work in the future and could be a solution to helping Common House and to get their message out there more. So our key takeaway is that we believe an event like this will be a very positive impact on the Common House and to help get the resources out there. We have supported evidence that proves that people RSVP'd, people came to the event, and that they enjoyed it. So thank you very much for listening to our presentations. Please ask us any questions that you have. And this is our team. There is a girl named Julia. Unfortunately, she had to leave the internship early, but she, in the beginning, was helping us as well with our project.
Thank you.
That's screen sharing.
I want to give special applause to this team because of the personnel changes, people coming and going, right? People who had to leave in the middle of the project. Well, people who were called, sorry, Peter.
In particular, Stephen Correa, who was called up to active military duty in the middle of this. And I know that's been a real challenge for you folks, working hard with him to coordinate. So
you should feel proud and happy. Are you proud and happy? Yeah, you are. Proud and happy. Yeah, just happy. Questions, comments, thoughts?
You know, I thought this was interesting that you guys came up with this because we do this at Covenant House internally when we have staff meetings and things like that. We do giveaways, prizes. You can get a Covenant House t-shirt or whatever if you can answer some Covenant House trivia. And it's a way that we sneakily make sure that our staff knows like our 5 principles, how many beds are in our facilities and things like that, because it'll be the whole room. It's the whole room shouting answers and things like that and raising hands and arguing. So it's if your question is, does it work? It definitely works. People remember, and because it's a fun time that they're having. Kudos, but it just struck me because we do this, you know, it's we actually do this one, so that's funny. Oh, I guess my question is though, I'm sorry, how do you get repeat customers? Part of what our concern always is that we want to bring people back for another conversation, and we want them to come and stay engaged and things like that. So I guess what happens after, you know, the trivia event, like what happens next would be my question.
So for your question, what we were thinking was that we could set up repeated emails that go out to people, like how the school does from the administration and everything. You set up repeated emails that talks about Common House and also talks about human trafficking, but that also promotes certain events, like events that we're having this week, this month, and we'll always send out links that you can RSVP and just make it very interactive. They can put their phone number in there if they want to get text message updates about certain events that we have and everything like that.
Leslie?
Leslie, do you want to go next or?
You can go, Allie.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for that really great presentation, and sorry to hear about the loss of your teammates, but it certainly didn't show that that you were down for the count, because it was an excellent presentation.
I like the temptations over here. New members leaving, that they don't stop singing.
So how did you recruit the people that attended?
So basically what we did was, I had the idea of emailing a man named Christopher Salvatore, who works in the Justice Studies Department. And I've noticed throughout, I'm a senior, I noticed throughout my years of attending Montclair that he would email events that the Justice Studies Department was holding. So I figured that maybe I could reach out to him and see if he could promote our event to Justice Studies majors, minors. And when I reached out to him, he emailed me back saying that he would. So he sent out our event to everyone who was a corresponding email to Justice Studies majors. We also send out, everyone in our group chat send out events to people in all of our other classes. So all of our other courses that we were taking, that's how we also got many RSVPs. And then also just sending out and promoting to friends and family, and just trying to really get people to come to our event and to recruit everybody.
Great, thank you. And how did you go about generating the questions?
Oh, and one more thing I just want to put onto that. Diane, she's not here right now, but she also found this Facebook group that is all of Montclair students. So we also promoted our event on there as well.
Oh, great.
Can you repeat your question again?
How did you generate the questions? Like, where did you get the questions from?
Well, Steven, he's not here. He actually did the questions, and we got them from the slides that Kaylin showed us when we were having our orientation about Convent House. She basically showed us a bunch of slides about human trafficking in Convent House, so that's where we got the majority of our questions from.
Okay, great. Thank you. I love trivia, so I love the idea. Thank you.
Thank you.
So,
Thinking about it, we should have Lennon going through the trivia questions and see what's going to be his score, and then report back to his team at Covenant House. Just saying.
Please don't do that. Kylan's here. She will witness it and tell everyone.
Sorry, Leslie.
no, that's great. Just to follow up on the two other judges, I really like this idea as well. And I think that we can take these ideas and give them all to Allie, and Allie can then move forward with them. So my question is somewhat similar to Lennon's. How would we follow up on this and get another audience of students to come in and do another trivia night? Since you got two maybes in there, what could we do to change those maybes and make it? You're muted, Hannah.
Sorry about that. I think to answer your question about reaching more people, we could also email more colleges and ask them if they're willing to promote their events to all their majors. We can also maybe look into the high school level, since I know that one of the group's presentation was about really focusing on educating high school ages about human trafficking. Maybe then we could put our ideas together and then email that school and also ask them if they're willing to promote our event so they can learn even more about human trafficking and apply what they learned from the other group's course material into our game night.
Okay. Do you think that the scale of the college, since there are about 5,000 students in the college, that scale is too big to work with on an initial basis, or is that just the right size? So if we reached out, let's say, to all the students in the college, would that work for a trivia night? Or is that too many students to handle?
I think that's where we can do multiple nights. for trivia, and we can have multiple set of questions, so no one takes like answers and all that and sends it to another group. That's where I think that we can host multiple trivia nights and not just have one big one. So I think that would be a lot, trying to make sure that everyone understands all the information. I think maybe a group of 40, 45 people is pretty good, just so you can make sure that everyone understands what you're trying to teach them, and people have the opportunity to ask questions if needed. And then we can just host multiple nights over a course period.
Okay, thank you.
I guess this is it, Peter.
Great. Well, in that case, Melissa, are you able to put the judges into a breakout room?
I am doing it right now.
So before they go, I just want to remind you, we have 4 prizes we're awarding: first prize, second prize, third prize. Those are the really imaginative names for the prizes, and best presentation. And the best presentation, you know, one team can win that and one of the prizes as well. So take your time, think about it. Well, let us know when you're ready to come back. Let us know, and we look forward to hearing from you.
How long do they have, the judges?
You know, if it takes you more than 10 minutes, I would be surprised. But how about 10 minutes? There they go. In the meantime, 2 things. One is Nadine Verna had an announcement. There's Nadine. Nadine, did you want to make your announcement now?
Yes, I just wanted to say that you guys did awesome. I'm so glad that I was able to join today. I actually had the day off, and then I was like, well, my plans to leave town kind of changed, and where would I rather be but here with you guys? So I'm so glad that I came back and I was able to hear everything you guys had to say, because I feel like I've been reading some of your, hearing some of your videos and reading some of your materials. So it was really nice to see it all come together. I also just wanted to say that, I was so moved, and I know that you had the deadline for the badge today as well as the pitch. And I wanted to give those of you who still needed a little more time the weekend to pass in the rest of your assignments if you need it. If you don't, have a wonderful weekend and just, decompress. But if you do need it, then I would just ask for you to have any final tasks completed by 8 a.m. on Monday. I did promise Melissa I would have my report in on Monday morning. So that's my gift to you if you need it. And just wanted to say congratulations, because you guys are all winners.
Thank you.
Can I jump in for a second?
Yep. Are you gonna?
So I know that everyone.
Are you gonna?
What happened?
You're gonna tell me I need to have my assignment done by 7 a.m.
You're gonna make me sound like this terrible person. Like, it's so funny. I do not like structure. I mean, I have ADHD. I mean, like, it does not come naturally to me. So I do it just for the sheer desperation of trying not to fail at life. But it sounds like I'm just like this terrible person. But anyways, I want to let you all know how incredibly excited that I am that we had this opportunity. And we didn't get a lot of a chance to meet during the semester. I know it was a crazy semester, but I'm going back to campus. I am a full-time employee for the full 12 months, as is Nadine. And I just want to make sure that you know that over the summer, I'm going to be reaching out to you for certificates, because Donna and I are like a team. And I want to make sure that you know that we're still going to be touching base with you. I might also be asking you for some help with a student communication survey that I'm putting together, but I didn't want to send it before today's event. And also, I just want to say, I could say amazing things about Donna all the time, but I'm not sure if Nadine has to leave. So I just want to let you know, she is part of the e-board of the African American Caucus. And I just have to tell you, the things that I have learned from Nadine, and it's been such an amazing experience. So I feel that if you are going to still be around, touch base with her. She is in a PhD program here, and it's just so incredibly collaborative and just loves students. So thank you, Nadine. And Donna is going to be in a PhD program as well. She's inspired me to do so much. So I just have to say that I'm so grateful to know my colleagues more, and to be given the opportunity to be a thought partner with Peter and Nir, which just doesn't happen. And all I can say is I'm grateful for you all for being co-creators and for learning from you. And we have to keep on doing something. So I'll be in touch.
So on that note, I just want to say the badging exercise for us really, I hope you do it. The idea here was to focus on things that you can do that can help you explicitly think about how you translate what you did here into something that you can present to potential employers. Right? It's about representing yourself on the job market. So that was the purpose of the badging exercise. So I hope you do that. We have a few minutes before the judges come back. I would really love to get, Nir and I would really love to get your feedback. If you have any thoughts you want to share right now, if not, we'll be reaching out. We really want to actually scale this up, do it more. You were our guinea pig generation. We thank you for it. You did a great job. These were really thoughtful, creative, exciting projects. But if you have any thoughts now, feel free. Nir has thin skin, I don't. So feel free to say anything critical you want.
Can I actually ask a question to Nadine?
Sure. Okay.
I just want to say for the badge, the part where I had to upload a video, it wouldn't let me. So I just put like a YouTube link where I posted on YouTube. I hope that's okay.
That's perfect. You're not the only one that did that. Some people were able to upload and other people, you know, had to send me a link. That's perfect. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Shows your creativity.
Exactly.
Which is awesome.
Let me just rephrase what Peter said. He likes only compliments. I can deal with critique. Bring it on. No, seriously. Things that you think we should improve, do better, think about as we roll it out, as we try to do it next year. Regarding, well, hopefully we will not do it all online. And thank you for being so patient to sit in front of your camera for an hour and a half. It's against the Geneva Convention. You don't treat human beings like this. But regarding the process, regarding the assignment, regarding the, please tell us, share with us. Forget about the first one. Who would like to go second?
So why Veronica and JC saying there shouldn't be cash prizes, there should be edible arrangements and fruits. Why is that the case?
Well, no honey. Let me be clear, no honeydew or like melon or anything like that. Like boring and bland. I'm okay with pineapple. I know some people have like pineapple allergies, but like I'm okay with them. But strawberries and like blueberries and grapes and stuff like that. Bananas, obviously the best ones. Pomegranates.
Now, yeah. Veronica, what you've missed is only the teachers on this program should be funny.
All right.
So you have to be serious.
Diana Dorr says, speak for yourself. Speak for yourself. Well, I'll tell you, in London, we had a conversation about this, that there was some discussion when we were doing it among students. Would it be better to do it in a way that wasn't a competition? Would that create less pressure? And we had some discussion about that. I'm a great believer that even though it increases pressure, competition focuses attention. Nobody wants to embarrass themselves. And so competition actually kind of pushes people to get things done. I don't know, Veronica and JC, I mean, if you guys win, I'm happy to tell your team we're not giving you a cash prize. You're just getting an edible arrangement without honeydew or melon or any kind. But does anybody else here feel like that having a competition is a bad idea, that it'd be better to do it in a different way?
I think the competition was a great motivator.
Okay.
And they also, working in a team, like we just got so close, and especially like since we're competing together, we were kind of, in a way, forced to get close because we were like, we either sink or swim together. So I think that it added a lot to it.
Can I ask, so, okay, Nir says I can't take criticisms, but you know, when you're a dean, basically half of your job is having people angry at you all the time. So I'm okay with that, but Since nobody wants to say anything critical, I also see Vanessa has her hand raised. I was going to ask a question, but Vanessa, did you want to say something?
Oh, no, just talking about the competition aspect, I think it was fine because what happened with, I can't speak for other groups, so what happened with our group was that for a while we forgot that there was a competition component because we just started focusing on the solution itself. And then at the end we stressed, we were like, oh wait, we have to pitch this. And then we have to sell this idea. But I just think that just motivated us to just keep being proud in our idea and just keep being, well, we made this amazing product. How are we just going to show it to other people? So I liked the competition aspect, and it just, for the focus isn't the competition, essentially, it's human trafficking and how we can help people. So it was just like a little added bonus that we can earn money while helping others.
Anybody else want to? I saw Camila. You know, I mean, Camila, speak up. Don't just write in the chat.
Okay. No, I was just suggesting that we can do like maybe visit an actual location of Covenant House and then, you know, work with them alongside the team and get, you know, inspired, and that will probably even further motivate us in like thinking of ideas to help them.
I think, Kylan, maybe you can speak to that. I think we actually talked about that, and I think the concern was this is not a casual thing that you just bring students into working in with survivors. Is that right, Kylan? That was my memory. Is that we thought we just can't do that.
I'm sorry. I'm in a room. Can you repeat that?
I was asking. Camila was saying that it might have been nice to actually have hands-on experience. And
yeah. So I mean, if you are not a part of the anti-trafficking team at Covenant House, you don't even have access to the names of survivors or any information. So like, I mean, even our own staff that are outside of this. So it's very much on a need to know basis. And I mean, like a lot of these people are experiencing ongoing danger and legal cases. So we couldn't risk having that type of identifying information going around and sharing the names of those people. So
yeah, that totally makes sense.
It wouldn't have been possible. I mean, it would have been possible for you to give me a list of questions you would like asked, and if we felt that could be appropriate to their like appropriate questions for them. So like everything that we do at Covenant House is for the survivor. We're not going to ask any questions that we want. If it's beneficial to them, we will ask it. So if we had discussed a list of questions that I or my team could have asked and that we would have felt were appropriate, that's something that we could have done.
You know, Colin, if I could just jump on it, we wanted this to be a meaningful experience. And that was exactly the conversation we had at the beginning, is that you can't work with survivors. That's just not, that's not something you can do. But that's exactly what we did when we met with Kylan and her peers at Covenant House. We wanted to identify the problems that you were given us, that you were primed with. You know, Kylan and Julia and their boss, Jim White, they made clear these are real problems. You know, the things that you were trying to solve were real things. They weren't just some sort of academic exercise. So I'm actually curious. I have to say, you don't have to, if you're not going to be critical, then I'm going to ask you for a compliment. Or my sense watching this, you know, and I, unlike Melissa and Donna and Kylan and Nir, I showed up the first day and otherwise I've been gone. I'm really impressed. You folks did some really interesting, creative things. I'd like to think that this was a positive experience for you. Is that a fair conclusion? Yeah.
I'm sorry, from me or from?
No, I'm hoping it was for you too, Kylan. But I feel like, you know, a professor in front of the class, you know, is asking a question and nobody answers. I mean, how about a show of reactions on your screen? Was this a positive experience? Here we go. Yeah, all right, a few. I see, yeah, great, okay. I'm glad to hear that. So in that case, I mean, we will follow up with you. You know, we really want to build something here that we think is meaningful for you folks, that you can actually, again, I'm just so impressed, not just with the creativity, but the substantive knowledge that you developed. Every one of the, Nira was joking about it, but I think it's true. Every one of these ideas is something that Covenant House or Ali in the Global Center can take with them and work with. That's pretty impressive.
I was actually not joking. I mean, I was joking the usual way with like 70% seriousness, 30% joking.
May I jump?
Sorry, who was that?
Melissa.
No, so sorry, I interrupted you.
I got used to it by now, Melissa. Keep on interrupting me. Why not? I'm joking. Am I joking? 70% joking. Are the judges back?
No.
Not yet, but I just kind of wanted to jump in because I guess for me, when I put myself kind of in like the shoes of the students, I would imagine Veronica really wants fruit. Girl, I hear you. I'm hungry too, and I'm with you on no honeydew.
The judges are back.
Oh, good.
Okay.
So my quick thing would have been like, I would imagine that so many people maybe would have been confusing for you when you wanted to reach out with communication. So just so you know, since that's what my master's program is in, I'm kind of thinking about that. So if you didn't quite want to like bring it up, just so you know, that's something that I kind of thought maybe would have been confusing. So we're going to tackle in a way later.
All right. So before the judges speak to us, Nir would like to say something.
Yeah, following what Peter and Melissa and Nadine said, I mean, you should all feel incredibly proud and happy because, again, I'm trying to go back to the beginning of the process, right? When we had those 2 very long days on Zoom, 3 months ago, something like that, end of December, right? In which we started this. Most of you didn't know a lot about social entrepreneurship and innovation. And we did some exercises, and the whole thing was especially difficult because of the pandemic and because of Zoom and because of all that. And here we are, I mean, 3 months later, and I look at the projects, right? The trivia night, the toolkit, the curriculum, the QR code, QR art code, right? The Instagram strategy and the club. All these could be seriously implemented tomorrow, either by Covenant House or by the center here at MSU, or to give it to another NGO dealing with something else. These are real concrete projects or solutions that could be implemented tomorrow. And to achieve that in the middle of this crazy year, in the middle of pursuing your other courses and helping your families and making sure you'll get vaccinated, this is incredible, right? And then in addition to all that, to make sure that the pitch would look nice and natural and surprising and creative, you are the best. And it was, you know, unlike other MSU staff, I had the privilege and the honor of spending the last 3 months with you, meeting you on a weekly basis. And it was nice to see how those budding entrepreneurs became, or should I say those entrepreneur worms became entrepreneur butterflies. Or am I using too many metaphors and I should shut up? Anyway, it was wonderful, really. And all these solutions, regardless of who wins, maybe we should introduce 2 more prizes that all the 6 groups would win, Peter. But regardless of that, I know from talking to Kylan that, you know, these are real solutions that are helping and could help in the future Covenant House, New Jersey, and Covenant House in other parts of the world. It was wonderful for me. I've learned a lot from you, and by answering some of your questions, helping you to get over some of the obstacles, I've gained some more perspectives about entrepreneurship and innovation. So thank you. You're wonderful, 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 wonderful.
I wanted to echo that. You guys, all of your ideas were fantastic. And, you know, what's likely is that we're going to use some of all of them, if not all of them. I don't know if we have to pay a commission or something, but I'm going to introduce these as my own original thought. But still, these are all fantastic ideas, sincerely.
So if the judges, if you'll bear with me for 1 minute, I also wanted to acknowledge Kylan Button, who was not able to attend at the start, but is here now. Her camera's off, she's at work. And again, Kylan was enormously generous. Hi, Kylan. When we first met, in fact, when we first met, we told Kylan and her peers at Covenant House that we would handle the whole administrative structure. We did not want to make this burdensome. And Kylan said, no, I actually want to meet with the groups every week. I'd like to build that into my schedule. And Kylan, you know, again, we are really, really deeply grateful to you. So thank you, and I'm glad you could be here today.
I'm really sorry, I'm all lost. No, thank you. I'm really sorry. Thank you so much, Peter, for the really kind words. It's been a pleasure to work with you and Nir and all the students from this team. I'm really sorry. Right in the middle of work. No, this is really great. I think that this was a really creative idea to bring to an undergraduate, to undergraduate students, and it's definitely an opportunity I wish I had when I was an undergrad. I think the students have really made some pretty impactful and creative solutions to some of the big problems we're experiencing, and I'm really excited to hear what the judges have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On that note, 3 judges, your turn, whatever you'd like to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
The judges have decided that they're going to let me speak on behalf of the judges. So the other 2 judges are practitioners, and I'm just a professor who gets to play a professor on TV. But I think speaking for the 2 practitioners, they loved your ideas. I don't want to give you all big heads, but everyone loved your ideas, and I think we're all very impressed. So we wish we could give everybody an award, and we agree with Nir and Peter that you were all spectacular. You know, this is really what college is about, and this is what the future is right in front of us. All of you, your ideas, your genius, and your creativity, and thank you. It was really hard for us to come up with a decision, but we did because we have to. So we decided that the best presentation would go to For Change. We just love the idea of looking at social media. We decided that the 3rd prize should go to Sixfold. The 2nd prize should go to Qartcode. And the 1st prize should go to Teams, T.E.A.M. So congratulations to all the winners and to all of the groups on behalf of the judges.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You deserve it.
Yes, thank you.
So thank you, judges. I know this was a hard decision. I should tell you that I was deeply moved by all of these presentations, all of these ideas. Again, I wasn't accompanying this all along. We will be in touch with you about how to handle the prize money. We're going to be sending Veronica fruit. But I also want to say, I think it was Nadine who said stay in touch, right? In the chat I saw. Please do stay in touch. We are here for you. You've had an unusual experience that you've gotten to work with a dean, with an outside consultant. We have a director, a center director here. We have Kylan and Lennon from an important NGO. We have an associate dean in Leslie. We have Melissa and Donna, who are important people in the college. We've got Nadine as the director of career services. you've been in an unusual situation for undergraduates, in that you've developed relationships with people who are in very interesting and unusual positions for a university. Use that, all right? As part of my advice to you, and I think I mentioned Ali, sorry, I said the director of a center, I didn't mention Ali by name, but part of the purpose here was to give you a way about thinking about social change. But I want to end on the thing I always open on. I don't believe that most people are going to become entrepreneurs, and that the purpose of this is to become an entrepreneur. The purpose of this is to give you some hands-on experience, some tools, and to actually encourage you to be entrepreneurial about your own life, to think creatively about your own life and about how you engage with your career and how you engage with the world. One of the ways is for you to recognize that when you have experiences like this, it opens doors, it forms connections, it forms relationships, it builds networks, right? I'm demystifying that mysterious word. You have now expanded your network. So I want to encourage you to stay in touch. I will certainly be bugging all of you. I think as soon as life is normal, I may try, if you're all still in the area, I may try and host something in person in the fall. And even those of you who graduate, bring you all back that we can celebrate together. So on that note, folks, Nir will never let me have the last word.
Last thing I will say, remember, the way I think about entrepreneurship, as Peter said, it's not a topic, it's not a field, it's not a subject matter, it's a mindset. It's a way of seeing the world. It's a language, it's a culture. We try to give you some tools. You were using them tremendously for this exercise. Now go out and do it in your personal life, in your professional life, with your family, with your kids, with your friends. And if you need us, please use us. You have my email address. You know where I live, sort of. Please feel free to bug me. I worked with you for 3 months. If you need a reference letter from someone who's not MSU, I'm here. I know you. I spent some time with you. If that could be helpful, fantastic. If you need some career advice, if you need some help in your next project, which is not for MSU, we're here to help.
And on that lovely note, thank you all so much. Be well. I will be seeing many of you at graduation. I really hope you come up and say hi to me in person.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.